Hello, friends. It's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums, again, to kind of talk about the next aspect that I would like to review regarding tarot. So, thank you so much for joining me. Number one, I really hope that you're enjoying these different videos and that you're finding them to be helpful on your tarot journey. So I wanted to kind of break up the videos by talking about some of like the major aspects of tarot and breaking that down into smaller, more digestible chunks. And so today I'm going to just be talking about the Pentacles suit, which is going to cover the cards, the aces through 10, or the ace through 10, and then also the four court cards that kind of are assigned or connected to the Pentacles as well. So when we think of each of the suits, they all cover different areas. And so the Pentacles are going to be the material. They're going to talk about the physical. The Pentacles are going to cover the alchemical element of earth. And so it's going to rule over money, career, material, our physical bodies, our physical existence. And so anytime that we are going to look at or receive a message from the Pentacles, we are going to be receptive to the more physical aspects that are related to the energy of the Pentacles. So whenever I think of Pentacles, I feel like the energy is a little bit slower. The energy is, very much like Earth. It's more solid. So it takes a little bit more time for it to really become what it's trying to be. And the other thing with this is that I relate this suit to the energies of fall or autumn as far as a season, just because I see a lot of these kind of colors and I feel like it's harvest and things like that. So it's almost like, to me, more of the energies and colors of fall. There are different people that utilize different systems for how they feel connected to each of the suits in relation to each of the seasons. But for me, what I have learned is just, this is what works for me. So find something that works for you and that resonates with how you would like to read your cards. The other thing is, because this is a little bit slower, more methodical sort of energy, I've also seen that for timing purposes, there is a relation to either months or years when it comes to the energy of Pentacles. Again, kind of gauge what works for you and what it is that you're reading for. So the other thing with the Pentacles is that they can also be known as coins in different decks. They can also be seen as like different elements like that. So I have like a Halloween tarot, and that one is like, it's the pumpkins. I'm trying to think of what other things I have seen it in other decks or whatever, but it usually has something to do with like a physical, maybe even like standing in for like money. So just kind of pay attention to how it's showing up for you in that way. Now, when I think of this energy being reversed, I think that it's a little bit more stagnant. It's going to feel as though you're lacking some material needs whenever we're getting these reversed Pentacles cards. And maybe we feel like our material needs are not being met. Maybe we feel like we're lacking support. Maybe we feel like our physical body's not really doing what we need it to do. And so there is a little bit of this kind of energy. So a lot of these keywords are going to have to do with financial aspects such as like prosperity, balance, teamwork, budgeting, hardship, generosity, making investments, patience, independent wealth, culmination, a new job, routine, security, and abundance. As we can see, these are those mundane kind of elements and aspects that a lot of us deal with regarding our physical life. And so I think a lot of these energies for the Pentacles is very much wrapped up in that kind of energy. So in essence, when I think of the Pentacles, I think of the more mundane things in relation to our careers, our finances, our physical bodies. And each of the numbers or each of the cards relate to a certain lesson regarding that aspect of life. So if we're talking about an ace, we're going to talk about the opening to prosperity, the availability and connection into moving into something new in the physical realm. Just like if we were to look at what the Page of Pentacles talks about, it usually talks about our inexperience in kind of moving into a new job. And by understanding the numerological influence and then also understanding what each of the suits individually can cover and talk about, we're able to kind of clue ourselves into what that energy is trying to show us or what lesson we need to overcome regarding that aspect. And by utilizing either timing with what I like to use, which is like, oh, this may be something that happens the first week of fall because it's an ace, right? So that would be something that maybe is going to be happening around like September 20th through like that first week, right? The last 2 weeks of September, something may be happening where there's a gateway to kind of open up to that. And you can kind of utilize that as like each of the numbers as one of the weeks for that season. The other thing is that we can also look at the astrological influences here. So here we have the different symbols for the earth signs. And so we're kind of given a little bit of this information by looking at each of the individual cards as they kind of show up within that suit. So I'm hoping that this, helps you understand how to read the Pentacle suit, or kind of understanding the energies for the pentacles whenever they do show up in your readings. I usually say if there's like a lot of pentacles showing up in your readings, then obviously there's either something going on with your physical body, in your physical realm, with your career, with your finances, with your sense of stability in the physical realm of Earth. If there's a lot of things going on with your career, you may see that there's a lot of like pentacles, depending if it's something good or, not so great. We can look at, is there a lot of upright cards? Is there a lot of reversals? And I will cover, kind of how I view reading reversals and why I think that it's a beneficial thing to add to your reading practice. But if it's not something that you like to do, as other people have said, everything that you can possibly need is already within the entirety of the tarot deck to be read upright. So you don't have to add reversals, but I like the challenge and I like the little bit of that razzle dazzle. And having a deck like this where it's giving me the upright meanings right here at the bottom, where here we have the Six of Pentacles, and this talks about gifts, generosity, charity, donations, money, community, assistance, support, employment, sharing, kindness, wealth, prosperity, power, authority, control, investors, giving and receiving, gratitude, being valued, and being well paid. If we were to reverse it, then we have unpaid bills, money problems, bad debts, greed, selfishness, stinginess, miserliness, biting the hand that feeds you. And so it kind of gives us these keywords to help us understand how that energy can be inverted per, depending on how we're pulling, if we're using a spread or if we're just kind of randomly pulling. I like to do what I kind of call a chaotic spread. I just kind of pull whatever I feel drawn to and as many cards as I want. And then I just kind of apply it to the story. And that's how I like to read tarot, is more of like, what is the story that's unfolding here, as well as trying to utilize tarot as a tool to connect deeper to my intuitive senses. But you can always read tarot just as it is and just let it be what it needs to be. So I hope that this helps you understand how tarot is a multi-dimensional and faceted tool to help you understand various aspects of yourself and things that you may experience in life. So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson covering very briefly what the Pentacles can kind of allow us to understand. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. As always, make good choices and stay safe out there. Bye.